Real quickly before we begin, I want to thank this video's sponsor, CarMarshal.com. CarMarshal.com can save you lots of money on buying used or new vehicles, cars, trucks, school buses. If you want to save money, I'll have a link in the description down below. I know I'm going to.
Three cops busted having sex with opioid thief in City Hall, not arrested, not even fired. 3 veteran police officers were caught on video having sex at City Hall, and not only were they not fired, but the chief is not aware of whether they have served their suspensions. By Jack Burns, April 22, 2018. 3 police officers were suspended without pay after their department learned that they were having sex while on city property, serving as a reminder that if the average citizens were caught having sex in City Hall, they would have been arrested for lewd behavior while in public. But because police have one standard for themselves and another for the general public, the officers were given only a few days off without pay. Investigators in Billings, Montana, were not looking to find their officers engaged in sex on city property, but while investigating the theft of drugs from the department's evidence storage facility by a former employee, Roland Strezich, the sex acts were discovered, presumably by video camera footage. The 3 male officers were seen having sex with Strezich, who was fired in February for stealing oxycodone from the evidence storage facility. All 3 of the veteran male officers admitted to having sex with Strezich. Police Chief Rich St. John confirmed with KTVQ the suspensions did, in fact, take place. According to KTVQ, St. John said 2 of the officers were suspended for 2 weeks without pay because they had sex with Strezich while on duty and on city property in the basement of City Hall, which is used for record storage. The 3rd officer was suspended without pay for 1 week because he was off duty but on city property at the time. St. John said that officer had sexual relations with Strezich in a police patrol car. "We're talking really good officers who made a bad decision, a really bad decision," St. John said. The entire incident has critics scratching their heads and wondering if they too had been caught at City Hall having sex, would they have gotten a citation and a court date or such a generous pass like St. John gave the 3 male officers? Apparently, the fact that the Billings PD is short-handed was enough of a reason to keep the men on the police force. Surprisingly, the police chief does not even know if they have actually served their suspensions or not, leaving some to wonder if they were even suspended at all. St. John said, he gave the commanders who supervise the officers discretion on when to allow the suspensions to be served, but the suspensions have to be served all at once, not 1 or 2 days at a time. St. John said he ordered the suspensions 3 weeks ago, adding, "I don't know if they served their time yet." If the media had not been alerted to the incident, it is unclear if anything would have been done to the officers who still remain unidentified. Several news agencies know their identities but refuse to report their names. "I look at the work that they have done, whether they're salvageable, the time that's elapsed with this thing," St. John told the Billings Gazette. "We have a lot of money invested in these people, and if they're salvageable, we want to do that. I also want them to learn that this isn't acceptable behavior and send a message to the rest of the department that this is unacceptable." This week KTVQ reported that the city of Billings is planning to release the names of the 3 officers. The resulting shame will certainly rock the lives of the officers, their families, and the community. Sadly, this story is not the first story published by the Free Thought Project detailing sexual, possibly criminal, actions by officers while on duty. Most often, the officers are suspended, with or without pay, and allowed to remain on the police force despite being guilty of the very thing for which the average citizen would be arrested.
The names of 3 Billings police officers disciplined for having sex with a former city employee on city property will be released Monday. This information confirmed to Q2 today by our media partner Last Best News. The online news site reports Police Chief Rich St. John says 2 of the 3 officers had sex with the woman while on duty, and all 3 incidents took place on city property. The woman, Roland Strezich, was fired 3 months after she admitted to stealing drug evidence from the police department. She admitted she took hundreds of pills from evidence. The officers face either 1 or 2 week suspensions without pay, but their commanders get to choose when those suspensions will be served.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.